Are we not gonna be grown-ups? That's what I'm talking about. You've heard me say a lot of things. I didn't vote for him. You heard me say that.
I don't know.
You heard me talk about childishness.
I don't know. Hey, you starting to confuse me. I don't know. It feels, hey, I'm not a bet man, but I probably would bet a little bit that you didn't, that you did vote for him. I don't know. You confusing me, brother. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you.
Unwillingness to get.
So when it comes to politics, unfortunately, folks, poor folks, marginalized folks, people who are barely making it week by week, folks like myself, to be honest, unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of just like looking on the outside, looking in when it comes to politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to, do some thinking, like, a couple months ago, like, if I wasn't invested into politics, or at least the conversation of it, what would I be doing? Like just gaming or drawing art, or just, watching movies, something that I really love doing and not really have to pay attention or even care about politics. But unfortunately, like Phil Franco says, like, you may not F with politics, but politics will F with you, regardless if you like it or not. So people like myself, like, it's just drawn into, because, I don't want to be the person on the, just looking around like, why is everything happening the way that it is? And once you start doing a little digging, next thing you know, you're like in politics. It's just inevitable, and when it comes to politics, we know it could get dirty. People are going to talk about each other. You're going to, build yourself in alliance with people that are against, opposing thoughts and ideas. But unfortunately, it gets ugly. And I get that. And if we look at history, the Malcolm X, the Asadas, the MLKs, like, politics will kill people. Like that's just history. But one thing that I don't have any sympathy for is this right here. I understand, when you're well off, when you're rich, wealthy, million, billion, you still have your opinion. I'm not saying that. But I don't want to hear you crying about how politics is too much for you. How politics is like a disgusting thing for you after you dipped your toe into it for a couple of months. I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, when you do have a lot of money, you have a little bit more opportunity, a little bit more freedom than a lot of people. And the statistics show that, so you can cry me a river at the end of the day. I really don't care about your opinions or how politics is too much for you. I don't care. Because like I said, folks like myself, we have to live with those policies day by day for years, decades. Look at Nixon. Look at Reagan. We have to deal with that. But when you have money, it may not affect you as much. So once again, you get no sympathy from me. But this guy right here, I have to consider him an ally, because he could be further right than like a lot of people. But, he's trying hard to stay neutral, which to me doesn't work. But with this segment right here that we're going to go through, Stephen A., hey, this ain't going to work. I don't understand the defense that you're bringing to him when it comes to politics. But let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
Let's move on to topic number 2, because I think it's important to bring this up as well. We got to get into politics for a second, where there's been a shocking turnaround, in some people's eyes anyway, from a high-profile Donald Trump supporter who would happen to be named Dana White. The UFC president now says he wants absolutely positively nothing to do with politics after being one of the biggest and loudest supporters of the president-elect. White was asked by the New Yorker about politics Saturday night at UFC 309 at Madison Square Garden, where Trump and some of his cabinet picks attended as well. By the way, I was there too. Not with them, but I was in the building. Look at this quote from White right here, where he said this about being a political pundit. Quote, "I'm never fucking doing this again. I want nothing to do with this shit. It's gross. It's disgusting. I want nothing to do with politics. End quote. Ladies and gentlemen, you might think this is far-fetched, it's far-reaching, it's something that you make front page news and all of this other stuff.
No, it is. It literally is. Like I said at the beginning of this, hey, everyone, despite how much money they got, have a right to voice their opinions. Okay, got you. I'm not going to argue about how you feel about something. But once again, when you align yourself with certain people and you got the money, you got the platform, you got the, to show your face and try to nudge the meter as much as possible with just who you are, unfortunately, you get no sympathy from me. Cry me a fucking river, bro. That's how it is. But let's see what he has to say.
All Dana White expressed is how most of us feel about Capitol Hill and the politicians that reside there. We can't stand them. I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the apparatus. I'm talking about the structure. I'm talking about our government and how corrupt it has become because of their behavior, salacious and otherwise, against one another.
No. Time out. Now you're inflating two things, because I had to go back and listen to Dana White's interviews, and more importantly, when he stood on that stage, at their, a bigger rally, and he full-heartedly endorsed Trump. He wasn't like, hey, the whole government apparatus is screwed up there and blah, blah. He didn't talk about that. No. Take him for his words. Don't explain what he wanted to say, what he meant to say. No. Because if you have that type of mentality that Republicans and Democrats are all trash, essentially what you're going to do is not vote. You're not going to care about either party. But he didn't do that. He literally endorsed him wholeheartedly. So I don't want to hear he felt like this and this and this. No, because if you truly understand that, you wouldn't even touch the Republican Party with a 10-inch pole. Not even a little bit. So once again, you are trying too hard to paint Dana White as someone like, the government, politics, it's so icky. No, I'm sorry, Steven. Can I call you Steven? It doesn't work like that.
And how unproductive they've been to the betterment of American society as a whole because of it. Dana White wasn't getting political. Dana White was supporting his friend.
No.
Donald Trump has been a friend of Dana White spanning nearly 40 years. Donald Trump was one of the original supporters of the UFC. That's how far back he and Dana White.
Hey, I don't care. But let's let him continue, okay?
Go. Dana White has said on numerous occasions that Donald Trump assisted in helping the UFC become what it ultimately became, which was a multi-billion-dollar establishment. You damn right he was going to stick out his chest and help Donald Trump, because Donald Trump helped him before he became who he is now.
Okay, first off, and this is the important part right here. This is the important part. No one's saying you can't be his friend. Hey, be his friend, bro. No one has a problem with that. Go for it. Knock yourself out. No pun intended, but go ahead, knock yourself out. But when it comes to policies, when it comes to politics, if you are endorsing an individual, someone as divisive as Trump, literally divisive, okay, not figuratively, not because it's Republicans versus Democrats, so it's going to be a few jabs here and there. No, literally divisive, literally saying immigrants are the poison of this country. Do you know where that quote comes from? Hitler. If someone is quoting Hitler, you might want to make up your mind on who your friendships are. You might want to rethink on who your friends are if someone is quoting Hitler. If someone is marginalizing and demonizing black folks and gay people and trans people just for his political progress, and you want to say that's your friend, well, guess what? I'm sorry, you might catch a little smoke at the end of the day. I'm sorry. But once again, you get no sympathy from me because you're choosing to do that. And you know how divisive your friend is. No one's making this stuff up. Like Trump literally is saying words out of his own orange face. He's saying these things. We're not like misinterpreting or like, the media is making a big deal. He is literally saying that the enemies within are left people, are Democrats like Chuck Schumer. What is that old ass man going to do? How is he the enemy within? And he literally said he will use the military if he has to. I am not making that up. He literally said that. So once again, you are deciding to be someone's friend who's literally probably one of the most divisive people in the past 50 years. In my opinion, more than Reagan, more than Nixon. Holy shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm sorry, once again, you get no sympathy from me.
Fair enough. We all do that. All of us. At least we should. But I'm going to tell you this.
Nah. I'm sorry. Once again, Stephen A. Hey, if my friend is being an asshole, he's sitting here purposely dividing Americans for whatever reason, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to check my friend. And if he's not changing his ways, I'm sorry, we're not going to be friends. That's simple. If my friend is abusing his wife and I'm seeing it and I hear it, hey, bro, you shouldn't be doing that. You can't be doing that. And he still continues to do it. I'm sorry, we're not going to be friends. I'm not going to support him because he supported my business. Nigga, stand on principle. That's simple. So, but, a lot of people don't have that P word, principles.
When you go a step further and you dig deeper into what Dana White had to say about politicians and politics, and when he says the world is dirty, think about this. This man is associated with a pugilistic sport. This man has to sit across from promoters. He has to sit across from fighters. He has to lawyers, and he has to negotiate deals. Things like that get ugly. His sport has been compared to a sport of boxing, where you got promoters ruining the sport because they refuse to give us the fights that we want to see when we want to see it. And still, in the face of all of that, and all the unsavory behavior he's been associated with throughout the years, this brother said, politics is disgusting. It's disgraceful. It's this. It's that. You know how bad you got to be to hear that from Dana White?
Hey, but the irony, the sweet irony of it is he is associating, he's endorsed the most divisive person in politics today. It was not at this level before Trump jumped into office. When I was watching politics from the outside looking in, it was not this dirty until Trump stepped in and literally pinning Americans against Americans in the most divisive way. Not off of policies or like this and this, literally saying these Americans are your enemies. That's literally what he said. So once again, Stephen A. Smith, I don't know where you're standing, party wise, but it really feels like you're putting money over principles. Cause this one doesn't make any sense to me. I liked a lot of things that you said in the past. It made some sense. I might have a little critique here and there, but overall I was like, hey, this brother, hey, he's an ally. But this right here doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all.
That's what we're dealing with America. And this is what I'm talking about. When I brought up Morning Joe the other day, I don't have any axe to grind with Morning Joe. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski have always been cool with me. I'm simply saying, in the interest of fairness, when you call somebody a racist and you have no problem with their name being associated with Hitler or with Nazis, as they did not have a problem with Donald Trump, associated Donald Trump with such a thing, how do you then go to Mar-a-Lago to speak with him?
Exactly. It's called principle. Standing on business. That's literally what that means. And they have none. Morning Joe and the crew have none of that. They don't practice any of that. So therefore, their credibility is being shot down. People are not going to hear them and believe what they're saying. Because now they said all that stuff and they sitting here sipping lattes with the food. So Stephen A. Smith, once again, hey, I don't know where you're trying to position yourself, like someone that's like neutral or like, hey, I got Republican friends, but I don't know. And that's not my position to like dictate. But once again, you're really sounding a little suspect. Just a little bit like, hey, you can't save everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people are willingly associating themselves with someone like Trump, who in my opinion is a fascist. I got plenty of videos explaining it. I'm not going to do it here. Is racist. Once again, I done played a lot of clips of him talking like a racist. He has a whole history being racist. Someone who doesn't care about small businesses. Once again, he has a whole history talking about that. So there's a lot of reasons why people don't like Trump. Not just because he's a Republican. I'm sorry. It's a little deeper than that.
And then come back over the airwaves and don't tell us what the hell you said. What you say? I got one of my producers here. My man Galen been a producer for years. Yo, Galen, what's up? If the man or his wife called Donald Trump such a thing, should they not have said, hey, we're sorry?
No.
Or we meant every word we said.
Exactly.
Shouldn't the audience have had the right to know that? That's what I'm talking about. That's why I mentioned them. Because you got to be consistent. You got the same politicians. We're listening to Representative Clyburn when Neil Cavuto on Fox brought up Nazis having Donald Trump's name associated with Nazis and asking, was that not out of line? And Clyburn had no problem with it. Well, here's the problem. Now that he's the president-elect, and the Republicans have the Senate, and the Republicans have the House, and the Republicans have the Supreme Court, how you going to do business?
Well, what do you mean? How do we do business? Oh my God, man. It just maybe because I'm talking as a broke person. Maybe I'm talking as someone that's like, you just don't have money to lose. But once again, I can never see myself ever saying, you know what? Even though I'm just going to like go along with the flow. No, I'm sorry. I'm not built like that. I'm built differently. I don't care who you are, who you think you are, how much money you got, this, that, and the third. I don't care, bruh. I'm standing on business. And if I say Trump is racist, I mean every syllable of it. If I say Trump is a fascist, every fiber of my being means that. And 9 times out of 10, he ain't gonna change my mind. Because once again, you have to believe people when they show you who they are. Stop making excuses when people are trying to show you, tell you who they are every single day. Stand on business. But that's hard for people to do. They don't have the callus on their feet to stand on business when things get rocky. They can't do that. I mean, that suit looking a little expensive. He may not want to lose that. He may not want to be uncomfortable for the next 4 years. He might lose some contracts. I don't know. That suit seemed a little expensive from what I see. I don't know. Maybe that might be it.
How are you going to get anything passed? How are you going to serve your constituency and make their lives better if your incendiary rhetoric made it worse to do business with the other side?
Wow. Our rhetoric made it worse. Not the words coming out of his mouth. No, maybe. Not when he's saying that the enemy within are worse than China, worse than Russia. The Democrats are the enemy within. Oh no, don't check that. But no, we made it worse because we just called him out for what that pattern kind of seems to be like, which is pretty fascist to me. I don't know. Threatening the military against your political opponents, shutting down media platforms if they don't agree with you. having an ultra hyper alt-right type of nationalism here in America, that doesn't seem a little fascist to you? I mean, I don't know. I just spent the last maybe total of a week looking up what a fascist is, looking up the history. I don't know. It just seems a little on point to me. But no, Stephen, it's our fault because we said something, right? Okay, got you.
Are we not going to be grown-ups? That's what I'm talking about. You've heard me say a lot of things. I didn't vote for him. You heard me say that.
I don't know.
You heard me talk about childishness.
I don't know. Hey, you starting to confuse me. I don't know. It feels, hey, I'm not a bet man, but I probably would bet a little bit that you didn't, that you did vote for him. I don't know. You confusing me, brother. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you.
Unwillingness to galvanize and bring people together. You heard me talk about those things. You didn't hear me bring up racist. You didn't hear me bring up Hitler or Nazis. You didn't hear me bring up stuff like that. It's counterproductive. It's unfair. It's irresponsible when you know that if he wins, you're going to have to do business with him.
Hey, and that's where we disagree. I ain't got to do business with nobody. I ain't got to business. Hey, he ain't signing my checks. Hey, he's no friend of mine. And once again, if I was in some big organization media, hey, if that's what my organization wants to do, hey, I'm sorry, I'm out. That's not how that works. I stand on business. I'm 37 years old. I've been doing it now, and I don't have no plans on turning back on that. What did Lil Wayne said? I ain't never ran in a damn show and about to pick the day to start running. That's simple. I ain't never stood off business. I ain't gonna start today to stand off business. That's not how that works. So once again, speak for yourself. But folks like me who are built differently, nah, I'm sorry. Don't think so.
That's the problem with this binary system we're living in. People get ugly and ugly and uglier because they want their way devoid of compromise. And then when you lose and find out you have to compromise, you don't know what to do.
Ah, shit. Ah, damn. Oh, right. Hey, Stephen A. Smith, I'm sorry, bro. Hey, I'm sorry. You're losing a lot of points with real dudes out there, with real people who know how this works. You don't work with people who are literally working against your interests. How do you work with people like that? You tell me. I don't know. Maybe I haven't read enough history books. Okay. When did Malcolm X start to give in to any political party? He wasn't like, you know what? I'm just going to have to work with the Democratic Party. I'm going to have to work. No, he didn't. That's simple. Because that's called standing on Huey P. Newton, the Black Panther Party of self-defense. When did they say, you know what? We're just going to have to, no. That's why they got killed. Because they weren't willing to sacrifice their integrity just to get some crumbs from them. Nah, I don't think so. I'm sorry. Hey, that doesn't work with me. But of course, if you guys disagree or you do agree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below or hit that Discord button. I do have an open door policy. Let's have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.